Hi, this is Douglas Christensen with Enable Musical Instruments, and today I'm presenting the introduction to our video series on how to build the Woodworkers version of our electric guitar kit that is styled after the Fender Stratocaster. And by the time you get to the last video, you'll have something like this. And this one's been fancied up a bit, I confess. I built this years ago and I just keep tinkering with it, and it's been 10 different colors and all the hardware's been changed a bunch of times. But I think that's the nature of the beast. When you've built yours, you'll have the skills to do anything you want with that guitar too. Change the color, change the hardware, change the electronics, and so you probably will. And that's cool, that's fun. And that's part of the end game of this series, this project, is that you'll have those skills. And so, a little bit about the Fender Stratocaster. I should say this before we move on because it's such an amazing instrument. Leo Fender brought this to market in 1954, and the culture in the US in 1954 was very conservative, very buttoned up, and this is anything but. This is radical. This was radical then, it's still radical now. This is just fabulous styling. And back then everything was boxy and square, and this thing is so stylish and curvy and cool and sexy. And some people freaked out. The kids loved it. The parents hated it. The blues guys and the rockers gravitated towards it, and the rest, they say, is history. I believe this is the best-selling guitar on the planet, and it deserves to be. It's extremely versatile and can make any type of guitar sound that you need. It can do country, it can do rock, it can do metal, it can do jazz, it can do blues. It's amazing. And to that end, to demonstrate the versatility, what I've done in this video series is at the end of each video, I've included an audio clip from some great artist, and the clip exemplifies the versatility of the instrument, the different sounds that it can make. And that'll be a lot of fun to hear those different great riffs being played on the Stratocaster. And also, the notes that you heard at the beginning, those beguiling notes at the beginning of this, that's Jimi Hendrix playing Hey Joe. It's the intro to Hey Joe from the Are You Experienced album. And it's a great piece of music. It's relaxed, it's behind the beat, it's confident, it's kind of funky. And it's clean. It's a clean electric guitar sound. It's just pure Fender Stratocaster. It's the native sound, and we don't really often associate clean electric guitar sounds with rock, but Jimmy rocks it, and the song is great. And for this video, the end of it, I've included the clip is going to be the solo from that song. And by the time of the solo, the tone is still pretty clean, but it's a little more ferocious, and Jimmy tears it up. It's great. It's a great few bars of music, and we'll hear that at the end. Now, I refer to this as the Woodworkers version of our kit. We have the Express version that has every single part that you need to put a guitar together. You just assemble it. And this version has you build the body. It comes without the body, and that's the woodworking project. It's a great woodworking project. You'll develop lots of important woodworking skills. You'll learn lumber selection, grain orientation, planing, gluing, rip sawing, crosscut sawing, curve sawing, drum sanding, disc sanding, routering, drilling, using templates, building the templates that we use, finishing and painting. It's like the gamut. It's all the things that are typically done in a wood shop you're going to experience by putting this body together. And then in the assembly of this, you're going to develop some really good guitar tech skills. You will learn how to adjust the neck and how to set the string height and how to adjust the height of the pickups. You learn how to install and set up a tremolo bridge, which is very tricky. And if you bring this to a guitar tech, they charge you $50 an hour for this. And so that'll pay for itself pretty quickly. And these are skills you'll have the rest of your life. You can use this on any other electric guitar that you might have. So to guide you through this project, the build, we have the video series, and there's also an excellent, very robust instruction manual that comes with the kit. And the manual is synchronized with the videos. So you can build a guitar just from the videos, or you can build it just from the book. I recommend that you use both. Follow along in the book while you're using the videos, and you'll get it done faster. There'll be less puzzlement and things that'll shut you down while you get the answers to it. So that's my recommendation for that. There's also, the book also has something that the videos don't. It's very important. It's at the beginning of the book, and it's a couple of lists. One of the lists is the list of supplies that you're going to need for the project, and this is like glue and paint and sandpaper and stuff like that. And the bummer about the supplies is that when you go get them, typically the smallest amount of whatever supply is like enough for like 50 guitars, and so you're paying for stuff that you're not going to use. So if you're like in a group setting or a classroom setting, connect with the other people that are building one of these and share the cost of the supplies among you, and then share the supplies, and your cost will be lower. Or better yet, get your instructor to use a supply budget to pay for the supplies. That would probably be the best thing. There's another list, the list of machines and tools that you're going to need for this project. And on that list, what I've done is I've listed the ideal machine or tool for the various operations, and then 2 or 3 alternative tools that can get it done. Typically, the ideal machine is a big commercial grade piece of equipment that gets it done fast, but not everybody has access to machinery like that. I don't. The shop in our studio is tiny. I'm space constrained, so I'm going to be using a lot of the alternative tools, which quite often are hand tools, power hand tools, portable tools. And so between the ideal tool and the alternatives that I listed, you'll be able to glide through this project safely. Safety, number one important priority in this whole endeavor is safety. Woodshop's a dangerous place. These machines with sharpened bits of steel whirling around really fast. Safety is paramount. If you don't follow safety procedures and protocols in the shop, you can injure yourself, you can injure somebody else, you can destroy your project, and that sucks. All of that's no good. So if you encounter a machine and you're not familiar with how it works or the safety procedures, ask somebody with experience, and specifically ask them, what are the safety procedures for this machine? And there's no shame in doing that. The person will think you're a savvy woodshop person, and they'll tell you. So in a classroom setting, you're probably going to have to be safety certified on all the machines before you go out into the shop. So that's cool. But again, if you're out in the shop and you have to use a machine and it was like the first one you learned the rules for and you've forgotten it, or you just didn't learn the rules for that one, ask the instructor, and they'll be proud of you. You know, they'll think you're great because you're not winging it, you're not guessing, you're not creating risk. So always safety first, number one. No injuries, no destroyed projects. It's horrible. So that's about it. Let's go build an electric guitar. Oh, but first, let's listen to Jimi Hendrix tear it up on a Stratocaster. See you in the next video.